In this video, what I'm going to be sharing with you is how we were able to take one of my clients from $30,000 a month to $92,000 a month, installing three things inside of her business and utilizing a low ticket funnel in order to be able to do it. She came to me trying to fix one thing, which was her ads, but we ended up fixing a few other things along the way inside of her business that got her to $92,000 a month inside of her business, making her $1 million a year business. So before we get started, I want to share a little bit about myself. My name's Eddie Miranda, and I've been running paid ads ever since 2019. I used to be the marketing manager for people like Grant Cardone, Brandon Turner, and even a company called HO Pro Tools, fixing their entire marketing department from the front end all the way to the back end. I own a company now called DM Marketing, where I help hundreds, if not thousands, of consultants, coaches, and even business owners with every aspect of their marketing. And I currently work with clients like Dent Global, Real Grader, which is my buddy here, Alex Montalenti, and Ben Azadi, which is right down here. On top of that, I have a community of over 1,600 members. I think we're closer to 2,100 members right now, sharing on how I use meta ads in order to be able to scale businesses, start getting high ticket clients, and even start being profitable on the platform. And as far as some results, well, I've been able to help a SaaS company generate an additional $100,000 per month in monthly recurring revenue with a $297 product. I've been able to help an agency go from 5 to 6 figures in upfront cash inside of their business. I've helped a real estate mogul generate $5 million in sales on a live webinar. I've scaled a financial business with an evergreen webinar from $100,000 a month to $500,000 a month. And I currently work a 6-figure coaching program helping hundreds of people with their paid ads. And if you guys want a little bit of transparency about the 6 figures, well, I've spent $116,000 in ads and generate $520,000 in revenue. So enough about me. Let's jump into what you guys came in for. So the three things that actually helped my client move from $30,000 to $92,000 per month is three things. One is the quality, the second is the optimization, and third is the ascension. And these three things play a vital role in any business in order for you to start scaling. Because one, you need the quality of the people coming through. Second, you need to optimize your funnel, whatever funnel that you're working on. In this particular situation, it was a low ticket funnel. And how are you going to send these people in a systematic way that you are not doing all of the heavy lifting yourself? First, let's talk about quality. So for quality, we were able to hit on three specific things that we were able to increase the quality of the people coming into her low ticket. This was one of the first things that we actually worked on before we worked on anything else inside of her business. One, we actually worked on a financial qualifier of her particular avatar. Her avatar was influencers. So she wanted to target all these different kinds of influencers that all wanted to make a course. And a lot of people that she actually spoke to were people that had already practices, but they were very influential in their space, but they didn't know on how to be able to build the course in order to generate additional revenue inside of their business. So one of the things that we ended up doing is that we ended up adding a financial qualifier inside of her ad copy to making sure that we're getting the right people coming through into her actual funnel. Now, the next thing that we did is that we did creative diversification. So we started building videos, we started building hook ads, we started doing product mock-up images, we even started doing carousels. And all of these played a vital role in making sure a different creative can actually speak to her ideal avatar in a different time. So we ended up launching all of these and we started getting better people coming into her actual low ticket. And basically we were able to really step up the game, and she started realizing the quality early on the people that were coming through, because she started seeing that some people were actually taking that next step, and she hadn't even implemented any of the other stuff that we're about to show you guys in step 2 or step 3 of this video. And then lastly, which is a very important thing, is that we actually fixed her pixel. A lot of people, what they end up doing is that they don't have their pixel optimized the way that it's supposed to. So what ends up happening is that she had a low ticket funnel. She had her sales page, she had her upsell, and she had her second upsell. And then, of course, there was a thank you page. So what ends up happening is that when people do this, they end up sending 3 purchases over into the actual pixel. Now, you can do this, but then you end up mudding up the pixel. So the great example of this is everybody tries to shoot for 50 conversions on an ad set in order for it to optimize so that they can start adding budget and all this stuff. But when you actually do this, let's say you had 25 people buy 2 products and it equals out to 50. Well, what ends up happening is that now you got only 25 people or 25 unique people inside of the pixel. So then Meta thinks that those are the people it's going to try to find. So it hasn't found enough unique purchases in order for it to start firing. So what you need to do is that you need to make sure that you set everything up to every unique sale. So whatever they buy here, here, or here, only one sale gets sent over to Meta with the total value. So that means that it could be a $400 purchase, a $500 purchase, whatever the total value of your funnel is, that's what you want to be able to send over. And when you do that, now you're going to get better customers coming through your funnel because now you're sending the total value of the customer. So instead of you sending small micro purchases, you're sending one full purchase with the total value. That total value could be $200, $300, $400. And now Meta knows that. So now it's going to find more people with that total value. So those were the 3 things that we ended up fixing inside of her actual ad account before we worked on anything else. So now we spoke about quality. You know how important that is. We spoke about the actual copy on the ads, the kind of creatives, and the pixel, the way it's supposed to be set up. Next thing that we're going to talk about is optimization of the actual funnel. So in optimization, what we ended up doing is that we ended up diving into her actual funnel metrics. See, the thing is, the client ended up coming up to me is like, hey, we ended up fixing all this stuff, but I'm not getting consistent sales every single day inside of my actual low ticket funnel. Some days I'll get some sales, other days I won't get any sales. So like what's actually kind of happening here? Well, we ended up diving into her ad account. Everything was fine. The click-through rate was fine. The numbers looked amazing. Her cost per purchase looked actually good as well too in comparison to her AOV. But we started diving into her funnel numbers. And I'm going to share with you some numbers and where we kind of pinpointed where was our biggest leverage in order to be able to start getting more clients coming in so then we could actually start spending more to increase and scale her actual ad account. So in here, she had a bump order that was doing about 40%. She had an upsell that was doing about 25%. She had another bump order that was doing about 18%. And then on top of that, she was doing about 2% on her landing page. And for me, I started seeing everything on this and I'm like, you have absolutely amazing numbers, but if we could fix this one thing right here, you can actually start exploding and then we could actually start scaling you. So the one thing that we noticed was, what if we could increase this conversion rate on her page and improve it so that we could start getting more people through the funnel, increasing her AOV, and also increasing the amount of purchases that we're sending back to Meta. So in this particular situation, what we ended up doing is that we ended up changing the headline. We went a little bit more aggressive with the actual headline, really calling out the pain point of the actual avatar. And we ended up going from a 2% to a 5%. Now that ended up getting her consistent sales every single day. Then now we could go, okay, we can actually start increasing spend and start bringing in more people into this funnel and start getting more qualified people into her business. And now we have all the confidence in the world to be able to start scaling even more and start getting to $500, $1,000, even $1,500 a day in ad spend. This one little adjustment alone was the reason why she had $5,000 in sales in one weekend. just by adjusting the headline. All right, so we spoke about quality. We spoke about optimizing the actual funnel to making sure that you can actually start increasing spend. Let's talk a little bit about the ascension, because this is what's going to get you guys the high ticket clients consistently inside of your business. So in the back end ascension, we added 3 things into her business that actually helped her get consistent sales calls with her perfect avatar that will allow her to sell higher ticket programs far easier than anything else that she was able to do. In fact, her main complaint was that she jumped on so many good calls that she had to hire more people inside her business in order to fulfill everything, which that's not a bad thing to have, especially if you're a business trying to scale. So one of the first things that we ended up implementing was a book a call funnel. So the book a call funnel was super easy. It had a headline, it had an application, it had a book a call, and had a thank you page. That's all it was. Simple headline. Hey, if you're looking to work with me, or I'm going to help you X, Y, and Z. And then they ended up applying, making sure that they are a right fit in order to come into either one of her programs. They had a book a call calendar, and then they had a thank you page. That is it. That's all that we did in building that out. That allowed for a place that where we can send people on a systematic way in order for people to start booking calls with her. The next thing that we worked on was an email sequence post-purchase from the actual low ticket funnel. Now, a lot of people do this, but they do this incorrectly. What they end up doing is they just do a confirmation email, and sometimes they don't even have anything after that, or maybe it's just a couple of value emails and then that's it. So this is exactly how we kind of like sequence that email. One, of course, you got to have your confirmation email, making sure that they gain access to everything that they just purchased and making sure that they're at least taking one step in consuming the content. Again, something super important about this, right? The reason for a low ticket, yes, is to get them a small win, but it is for them to be able to spend as much time with you as possible so that they can have the confidence that you can solve the problem that they have, that you can shorten that gap, making sure that you are the right person for them to take the next step in either doing a done for you or done with you coaching program. That is the reason for a low ticket. So in this, we want to make sure that we send people back to the content that they just bought so that they can spend as much time with you as possible, and making sure that you are providing the value needed for them to understand, hey, this is the person that I want to work with. So that's what we did here. Day 1 is the confirmation. Day 3, we send them back to another chunk inside the course, making sure that they're consuming them. Day 5, exact same thing, sending them back to the course. Day 7, again, exact same thing, sending them back to the course. But here's the difference that a lot of people don't do. Day 9, hey, you've already taken these actions. You probably got a small win already. Well, what about if you're prepared for the next step? Well, let's get on a call and see how we can help you out further. So that's day 9. Day 11, the exact same thing. Day 13, the exact same thing. You're pushing them to the book a call. We ended up pushing them to the funnel that we built in order to make sure that my client has enough book calls on her calendar to make sure that she could sell as many high ticket programs as possible. So that's what we ended up doing with the post-purchase email sequence. We just didn't do a confirmation page and maybe just 3 days right after. We did an entire journey making sure that they take the next step. And then lastly, what we installed inside of her business was an awareness campaign. This awareness campaign is actually a nurturing process. So after they buy the actual course, this awareness campaign is going to be pushed to the people that just finished buying so that they can see consistent content from you every single day. So basically the way that this works is that you want to be able to get in front of them every single time that they open up Instagram and Facebook. Basically, at the end of the day, you want to be making sure that they feel comfortable with you. You have content that has testimonials on it, content that's going to shorten their gap of the understanding of how to be able to solve their problem. You're going to be able to share about your beliefs and the reason why you do things in a certain way and how they're different from everybody else. So you're going to set up one campaign with all these different kinds of content. Some of these pieces of content are just going to be straight up value. Other pieces of content, you're going to be sending people into that book a call so that they can actually take the next step with you. And again, you don't have to spend a whole lot of money on this. It's just going to be enough for people to be able to be like, oh my God, You are the person that is going to help me with this particular problem and taking me on to that next step. Again, at the end of the day, same thing with the course. They are in this particular system in order for you to be in front of them as much as possible so that they can feel comfortable enough in order for you to be able to take the next step. So again, implementing those three things, the quality, the optimization, and even the back end ascension is how we were able to take my client from $30,000 per month to $92,000 per month. All you have to do is just be able to install these three things inside of your business, and you can actually start generating consistent high ticket clients. That's what we've been able to do just with one of my clients, being able to install the quality aspect inside of her business, inside of the ad account, making sure that you have the right people coming into your funnel, optimizing your funnel and making sure that you are converting the way it's supposed to. And of course, making sure that you have the right conversion KPIs or the right conversion metrics so that you could actually scale your ad spend, and making sure that your ad spend's not going to waste. And lastly, with all the leads that you already have inside of your ecosystem, how do you systematically ascend these people into your high ticket program so that you're not chasing everybody consistently on a daily basis and wondering, why am I not getting more high ticket clients? That is the final piece of it all, because you can have your ads, you can have your low ticket, but then how are you ascending people into your high ticket program? So if you want to find out more on how to be able to fix this inside of your business, I have some links down in the description below so you can actually book a call with me and we could sit down and see if you are a fit to join my inner circle. Inside of my inner circle, we help out with all those three pillars. We help out with the quality, we help out with the optimization, and we help out with the ascension so that you can get consistent high ticket clients inside of your business so that you can finally start scaling comfortably and not be worried about the roller coaster of 1 month you're having clients and the next month you don't. So again, if you like this video, please subscribe to the channel, like the video down below. I hope you enjoyed the value inside of this video.